So picture this. You walk into a store, you steal 3 golf clubs, and the government locks you in a steel cage for 25 years to life. Sounds completely illegal, right? Like that is textbook, cruel and unusual punishment. But it's actually 100% legal under the U.S. Constitution. Wait, what? Welcome to the wild, weird, and incredibly misunderstood world of the Eighth Amendment. Most of us think the Bill of Rights is this magically clear, impenetrable shield protecting us from crazy government overreach. But the truth is, the Supreme Court has spent the last 2 centuries fighting over what the words cruel and unusual actually mean. Does it mean no electric chairs? Or does it just mean the cops can't seize your $40,000 truck over a minor drug charge? Stick around to the very end of this video because we are diving deep into the bloody history, the weird medical science of lethal injections, and the massive legal loopholes of the Eighth Amendment. Alright, so let's rewind a bit. To really get why the Eighth Amendment is so weird, you have to understand the absolute mess the Founding Fathers were trying to clean up. The Eighth Amendment literally just says no excessive bail, excessive fines, or cruel and unusual punishments. That's exactly 16 words. See, back in England in the 1600s, the justice system was basically a horror movie. If you crossed the king, they didn't just put you in time out. They had guys tied to moving carts, whipped for days, and forced to stand in a wooden pillory while crowds threw garbage and rocks at their faces. Fast forward 100 years and our Founding Fathers are writing the U.S. Constitution. They look at history and go, yeah, let's definitely copy-paste that part. They wanted to stop medieval torture. But here's the thing. They never actually defined what cruel meant. They just kind of left it blank and walked away. Before we get into the crazy modern stuff, I'm actually super curious, what is the weirdest, most outdated law or punishment that technically still exists in your state or country? Pause the video right now and let me know down in the comments because I love reading about those bizarre local laws. Okay, so let's talk about the first half, excessive bail. What even is bail? Functionally, it's the justice system holding your freedom hostage for cash. It's a deposit. You give the court money, they let you go home, you come back for court, you get the money back. Simple, right? But the Eighth Amendment says bail can't be excessive. If you get pulled over for expired tags, the judge can't hit you with a $10 million bail. But courts have ruled that if you're a massive flight risk, like a billionaire with a fake passport and a fake passport, your bail can be denied completely. Excessive is totally relative. And then there are fines. This basically lay dormant until 2019. A guy in Indiana got caught selling $400 worth of drugs. The state used civil asset forfeiture to completely seize his Land Rover worth over 40 grand. He argued that stealing a $40,000 truck over a $400 crime was a massive, excessive fine. And the Supreme Court actually agreed. They were like, yeah, you can't just take a guy's car to pad the police budget when it's totally disproportionate. It was a huge win. But here is where things get really legally fascinating. How do we decide what is cruel today with technology the founders couldn't dream of? In 1958, the Supreme Court said the Eighth Amendment must draw its meaning from the evolving standards of decency that mark the progress of a maturing society. Basically, what was fine in 1791 might be wildly cruel today. But this evolution created a massive scientific paradox when it comes to the death penalty. Because you can't be cruel, the government tried to engineer a painless execution, lethal injection. It's a 3-drug cocktail. It usually starts with an anesthetic to put the person to sleep. Then a paralytic is used to stop the muscles and breathing. Finally, potassium chloride is injected to stop the heart. Scientifically, potassium chloride burns like liquid fire going through your veins. If that first drug doesn't work, the person is paralyzed while consciously experiencing an agonizing heart attack. And because of the Hippocratic Oath, doctors refuse to participate. So you have a complex medical procedure performed by prison staff, leading to botched executions. Lawyers constantly argue this is chemical torture, which is cruel and unusual. But the Supreme Court has generally ruled that just because an execution might cause accidental pain, it's not unconstitutional. The Eighth Amendment prohibits intentional cruelty, not accidents. So what does all this mean? It means the Eighth Amendment is alive. It's not just words on old hemp paper. It's an ongoing, messy legal battle. It's the reason that guy got life in prison for stealing golf clubs. The court ruled it was based on his history of crime. The Eighth Amendment forces us to constantly ask, are we being just or are we just being cruel? If you made it this far, you are absolute legend. Please smash that like button, share this, and hit subscribe. If you thought the Eighth Amendment was full of loopholes, you won't believe what the government gets away with under the Fourth Amendment. Click the video on your screen right now. See you over there.